Hi everyone, welcome back to Salty Tarot. We're going to just dive in for a collective love reading. We've got the clarifying love situations cards. So Spirit, please tune me into the energies of the collective and what they need to know right now about their situation with their person, with the person in their heart. What's going on, Spirit? What is going on with the collective? What is the situation that we need some information about? We have emptiness echoes. In absence, feel the lonely spaces, yearning for a comforting presence. We have storms of love. Conflict is an opportunity for growth and change. So it looks like there's separation and or conflict happening between you and your person right now. Get another couple of cards, please, Spirit. Perhaps you or both of you are feeling lonely. One or both of you. I'm, as it says in my channel description, I'm a big lover of storms. So this card is kind of funny, but I love the message here. So storms of love, conflict is an opportunity for growth and change. And I believe that conflict only ever arises for growth and change. We've got fate's crossroads. In a weave of chance and choices, find the path to lasting legacies. So a bit of Two of Wands energy there. Find the path to lasting legacies. What else is going on for the collective? We'll get maybe one more and then we'll jump over to tarot. All of my favorite things are coming through. We just need a card about goats. Lightning strikes. Dismantle outdated ways of being to get a fresh start. So it looks like there's loneliness, conflict, absence, a yearning for comfort, an opportunity for growth and change. And that opportunity looks like it's the chance to find that path that leads to lasting legacies. So that would be sort of Ten of Pentacles energy. And then dismantle outdated ways of being to get a fresh start. So lightning is Uranus energy. It's the energy of my eyes are being drawn to the reverse side, which says awakening jolt. So when we associate lightning striking with, genius, opportunity, like a inspiration, something that comes through almost like from the, thinking of septiles in astrology, like something that comes through from the other side and it just beams into our brains and gives us the opportunity to create something new or to just totally do things differently than we've been doing them. And so maybe you're at the precipice of great transformation and change in this connection, or at least you're at the crossroads of deciding what will happen next. So it looks like it's within your hands is what I'm seeing so far, and that there might be a feeling of lightning striking sort of from outside, that inspiration coming from outside of yourself, or on the other hand, it may be that you make a radical decision to change the path of how things have been going and, take back control. And I'm seeing, because it says find the path to lasting legacies, I'm getting the sense that that's within the connection. So doing something completely differently to sort of completely change the energy. When energy gets stagnant or stale, it's there, you need something radical to shift that energy. So, and obviously within the bounds of propriety, within, respecting people's boundaries and not doing anything ill-advised or illegal. But, sometimes coming through with a completely different way of doing things can be exactly what's needed to sort of, it's like that shaking energy, like, when you're shaking in a meditation, it disrupts and allows a new pathway. On the bottom, we have love blocks, dismantle hidden barriers to real intimacy and trust. So if there is something in your energy that is creating a block, you may wish to dive deep into what is holding you back from real intimacy and trust. That's work that we can only ever do ourselves, of course. You can set the intention, you can sort of send energetic assistance to another person in that journey, but the best way to assist another person in unblocking their energy is by doing that work yourself. Seeing what in yourself that, if you're seeing it in another person, you've got it in you. So work with that energy, and that will help you to unblock your own energy, and that can help bring another person's, sort of open the path for another person's energy to come in. We're going to jump into tarot straight away. So I'm still working with 2 tarot decks. Oops. This one is the Tarot of Mystical Moments, and I might use the Affirmators Tarot for clarifiers. Oh, the wasp's nest went flying. So Spirit, please tune me into the energy of the collective and their person, the person in their heart. What is the energy of this connection at this time? Let's get some tarot for that. What are the current energies in this connection? Oh my goodness. All right, we'll take him. We've got 9 of Wands in reverse. We've got Knight of Wands in reverse. And Temperance in reverse. Ooh, a lot of reverse energies. Ace of Pentacles on the bottom. So we've got some energies here. These are all kind of working together actually quite well. But the message is one of great instability. So with the 9 of Wands, it might be that one person there might have been an imbalance of work in the connection. So one person might be sort of putting in all the work and not seeing their efforts rewarded. So you may be in a space of feeling like you've been sort of giving to the connection and not getting much back. The Knight of Wands suggests that there's a high degree of fickleness in the connection at this time. Just checking on the alignment here. Yeah, so there could be, it might be you, it might be your person, but there's sort of a 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of energy. Fickleness, sort of feeling like just a problematic degree of instability. So changing, very changeable, kind of like hot-cold dynamic. And there could be some impatience, some just general instability. There could be frustrations, recklessness, but there's sort of passion here, but it's like passion that kind of comes in and goes out. And, maybe the thrill of the chase, or directionless, like a kind of directionless energy, directionless passion that's just kind of causing discord. And Temperance in reverse has very similar energies of sort of like believing you're in love and then changing your mind, being indifferent the next minute, and just it not being a good time to sort of advance a relationship at this time. Changing whims, an inconsistent partner, switching on and off, like sort of extreme volatility, walking on eggshells, imbalance, excess chaos, hastiness, feelings that are very changeable. So, one moment it seems like you're all in, and then the next moment it's like, there's nothing happening. So, and with the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom, we've got the Ace of Pentacles is a gift. It's something that is taking root. As we can see, this plant is coming up through a crack. So that's the bottom of the deck energies. So it feels to me like there's great instability in the connection right now, but there's something sort of in the background that maybe is keeping you, kind of pulling you both in, that is just not showing on the surface. Ace of Pentacles can be about a new beginning. All the aces are about new beginnings, but this one in particular can be about like an opportunity, something that's sort of unexpected that's kind of peeking through. And it speaks of the Suit of Pentacles does speak of loyalty, of steadfastness, of things growing steadily. So, you know, maybe with this hot and cold energy that's going on, maybe that seed is like way down here and is, you know, just starting to sort of take root and make its way up through this crack. So it looks like, I mean, if it was just these cards, I would say this is not looking great, but with the Ace of Pentacles as the bottom of the deck, it feels like there is something there. There's like a seed of a really beautiful connection that has the opportunity to create that path to legacies. And you got to find it. Spirit, what are the energies of the collective at this time? Let's cut the deck. Make sure those cards are well integrated. What are the energies of the collective in this connection at this time? What are your energies? Oops. Energies of the collective at this time. What are your energies in this connection? What's going on with you? We've got the Ace of Swords, Seven of Wands in reverse, and the Two of Pentacles. I guess we can just center these since I'm not taking a whole slew of cards at the moment. Are they straight? Oh, they're possibly straight. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Three of Cups in reverse. The Ace of Swords is sort of like that lightning strike energy, so it's inspiration. Again, all the aces are about new beginnings, but in this case it's new beginnings in the areas of the mental realm, communication, air, said communication already. So anything to do with ideas, new inspiration, again, that Uranus energy of like the ideas are coming through and they're just suddenly, you know, like here's the key and here's the keyhole, like unlocking the whatever's going on inside. And so it's mental realm, but it's also the crown chakra. So it's sort of the ideas might be coming through like that lightning strike from spirit. Mental clarity, success, a light bulb moment, a clear plan. So it might be that you suddenly have clarity with respect to this connection and an idea of how to take it, where to go, you know, what to do next. Maybe you just suddenly have this lightning strike of inspiration and you know what you want to say, you know what you think and feel about the connection, maybe not what you feel, but what you think about the connection. So that sort of mental acuity is coming through really strongly for you. It can also refer to, again, breakthroughs, but also raw power. So just having like a strength of purpose, or a piercing intent, or a singularity of purpose, so strong focus. Conversely, a Seven of Wands in reverse might refer to weak boundaries or sort of giving up. So if the Seven of Wands is fighting for something, fighting for love, fighting for the connection, Seven of Wands in reverse is like, you know, just feeling like you don't have it. You know, you don't have the strength to keep going. You don't have it's very opposite energy. So this is like, you're clear, you know what you need to do. This is like, you don't quite have the stamina to do it, or you're hesitating. You're feeling like you know what needs to be done, but you're hesitating. You're in these energies of holding back and not bringing it through. Two of Pentacles suggests a decision. So it might be that you're deciding between these two energies. You're sort of waffling between knowing what will bring knowing what could shift the energies in this connection, knowing what that lightning strike is, and giving it voice, giving it grounds, rooting it down into the 3D reality versus, has like something's holding you back. Let's get some clarification about this. Put the bottom of the deck over there. Spirit, please clarify the 7 of Wands in reverse. What's the nature of this? I've got 8 of Pentacles. What's coming through is that it's sort of like I'm seeing this as a transition. So, you had that lightning strike, you've done the work, but you're hesitating about maybe sharing it with your person or taking whatever that next step is, sort of feeling weak of boundaries. So, and I did ask for this to be a clarifier for this. So like, what is this block? And so it maybe you're busy with other work. Maybe you're throwing yourself into work as a distraction from, like maybe there's a bit of an avoidance thing happening and you're focusing on creative projects, actual work, sort of orienting yourself in career, or just making sure that you've got your stuff kind of sorted and in order. And maybe that's holding you back from taking action within the connection. I still feel like I need a little bit more information. So what is the 7 of Wands in reverse block? What is being blocked? What is blocking the collective? What boundaries are weak, or what is it that they're hesitating about? What are they hesitating about? 9 of Pentacles, satisfaction. There might be some attachment to independence, so it's sort of like maybe you've worked really hard to get to where you are as an independent entity on the planet Earth. Maybe you've done a lot of your self-work, or, maybe it is career focused, or in terms of creative projects, maybe you are in an energy of not being sure you want to give that up. Maybe you're in an energy of really enjoying what you've come to fruition on your own. Maybe you have all your ducks in a row, like the 8 of Pentacles does suggest that you've gotten to that point already. We're not working with the 7, and we're going from 8 to 9, so there's sort of a progression, and it's like, maybe you're really good on your own and you're totally comfortable with being in your own energies. There was that card suggesting someone in this connection might be feeling some loneliness, or there's, this kind of conflict, but perhaps you've been off doing your own self-work in the absence of your person, and you're feeling really good and fulfilled, and maybe you're not sure that you want to bring through whatever that lightning strike of inspiration is, because you're feeling pretty good on your own. It's almost like this inspiration maybe has come too late, like after you've sort of done your work and you're feeling pretty good, like you're comfortable. You're not sure that you want to disrupt everything. This is that lightning strike oracle card that we had earlier is suggesting, like upending the contentment. And that's a very uncertain energy. Maybe you're feeling like you just want to enjoy the fruits of your labors and eat your apple on your own. And, you've got a whole bonnet full of delicious fruits up here. You've got a lovely bird friend that is, has been tamed, or not tamed, but that you've forged a connection with. Maybe you're forging connections with nature. There's a little snail up here. There's some, they almost look like daffodils, which is what we've got over here. They're white though. Some daffodils are white. And yeah, so maybe you're feeling very complete within yourself, and maybe it's taken you a lot to get there, and you're not necessarily wanting to upset the apple cart and do whatever it is that needs to be done here. If you're a person who has like any avoidance to you or commitment issues, I mean, honestly, who doesn't? It is, if you've worked on yourself, or if you've worked really hard in your career, or in whatever it is that makes you, if you've managed to get accrue some notoriety for what you do, it can be really difficult to sort of mentally think through how to integrate another person or a relationship into those energies. But the thing is, it's not mental. I mean, some of it is mental work, because you have to deal with practical day-to-day details if you decide to, for example, live with a person. But short of that, integrating families, or maybe you have a sense of completion within your own family, and you're kind of questioning how a partner would fit into that, there might be some mental work to be done there, but you've got that tool, you've got the key, you know how that would need to happen. But a lot of that is not, it's not mental work. Like if you want to bring another person into your life, that's a feeling. There's a call, there's like a compulsion, I don't mean compulsion in like a, unconscious way, but like there's a drive, there's something that drives you to that. And if you're not feeling that drive, then maybe you're good on your own. Like maybe this is the question that you're grappling with right now. Perhaps it's a question of, am I good on my own, or do I want to, sort of, it could be that boundaries are overstrong as well. So it might be that the boundaries might be sort of like overdrawn, and maybe there's a need to kind of, relax your boundaries a little bit to let another person in. I'm not saying that you should let people get away with things that are unkind or, that do not serve. Never ever. Especially if there's any ABUSE that's taken place, like kick them to the curb, like don't go there, don't go back. However, if that's not your situation, if it's, just a question of like how to integrate another person into your energies, then there is an independence that has to be sacrificed if you do want to do that. But the thing is, you don't have to figure it all out on your own. Like if you're working with another person's energies, like that is a big part of how that plays out. And it's sort of like, maybe there's some like if you're in the mental energies, then it's like you're negotiating. You're like, it has to be like this. And then your person says, well, I need this. And you say, I need that. And maybe one person just like is like, I need all of this. And the other person is just bending. And you don't want that, because that creates an imbalance in a relationship. Really, a relationship has to be like, like you both know who you are, you both know what you need in order to make the relationship sustainable. And you have, conversations that have feeling and compassion and kindness, and like you want your other person to be succeeding, right? And you want you to be succeeding, and they should be wanting both those things as well. And there's emotions, there's like an emotional planning element, there's a feeling of, there's a draw, right? There's a magnetic draw, and if you're not feeling the draw, then you're not. Okay, I have spoken too long about this. Let's see what your person's energies... Oh, I didn't get to the Three of Cups in reverse. Three of Cups in reverse can refer to, there might be another person's energies that might be going on for you. Maybe you have other options. Maybe you are not totally sure about the person that you're asking the question about today. Maybe you feel drawn towards other paths, and or maybe you might be sort of in an energy of frivolity, or, making lots of sort of short-term connections, just thinking back to the original energies. Maybe that's you, that Knight of Wands. Maybe you're like all over the place, creating connections with other people that don't last, or that aren't fulfilling, or, that are at a very surface level. Maybe they're really fulfilling for one night, which is, no judgment. That is a lovely, beautiful way of life that I myself have enjoyed. But it might be that you're at that turning point where that's feeling like it's not serving you anymore, or it's not fulfilling in a way that, like, maybe you're longing for something, more depth of connection. And guess what? If that's what's happening for you, you're in transformation energies, and the only way to get there is to transform, is to let go of that independence a little bit, and, make sure your boundaries are strong. You don't have to give up yourself in a connection, but you do have to open up and let another person in. There has to be some kind of space. There has to be a hole for their key. Okay, let's do the cut again. All amped up all of a sudden. I don't know. I set the intention to have a little bit more energy for this one, because I bore myself sometimes. I bore myself a lot, actually. Are you bored by yourself? do you bore yourself? Are you maybe bored of being in those independence energies? Like, there are some people who can spend infinite time alone and they have so many creative ideas and they're just, working on this and they're working on that and they're working on that. And then, there are other people who know that they don't ever want to spend time alone. Like my children were born close together and I can't imagine either of them ever spending protracted periods of time alone. Like they're very, they don't like to spend any time alone, which I try and encourage the polarity of whatever needs to be developed. But, and then there are people who spend a lot of time alone, are usually satisfied with it, but like maybe are coming to that point of, and I'm not saying this is like an evolution and that there's anything wrong with being in the solo, independent creative energies. That's a beautiful place to be, a beautiful way to live. If it's working for you, then fantastic. But if that little seed is taking root and sort of, nudging up towards the light, coming up out of that crack, and you can sense it, it's there. Like that's what led to my children in my case. It's a slippery slope. Watch out. Maybe make sure your birth control is all sorted. Make sure you're using protection if that's not something that you want to invite in right now. I should mention if there are breaks in the video, it's because my throat, like somehow when I'm doing readings, even if there's nothing else going on, symptomatically for me, it's like there's a lot of throat stuff that comes up for me. And like I definitely resonate with having some throat chakra blockages myself. But it's like it's accelerated and accentuated when I'm doing readings. So I edit out all the little throat clearing moments in the videos. Like you might hear my voice become weak and then there might be a jump in the video, and that's what that is. Okay, Spirit. What are the energies of, oh my goodness. I got King of Pentacles, that was kind of, I think it was mostly upright. So the energies of, I'd already set the intention, so I'm going to take that. And I said it out loud. Oh, bottom of the deck we've got the Sun, that's beautiful. Okay, so your person is in an energy of, wow, this is really beautiful. So I have to just make a note here about like my energies are quite amped up right now, and I was not feeling that before I started this reading. So I definitely think that I'm in the energies of this connection. And it's funny because it started with so much instability, and it's like I feel that instability, but like a lot of excitement, passion, and just like I am talking a mile a minute. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. And I was just looking at these cards and I wanted to cry. Like I started, like tears are kind of coming to my eyes because it's really beautiful. So I'm a little sentimental, and we've got the card of sentimentality here. So the King of Pentacles is like somebody coming in right, wanting to make sure that, they're coming in slowly, but they're doing it right. So, it's not the Knight of Pentacles. They're not like taking forever to make the move. Like they're coming in, but they're doing it very, steadily. They've got a plan. They know your worth. They see your worth. They see maybe their own worth, I would assume and hope for the King of Pentacles. And they see the worth of the connection, and they want to do it right. So they're taking those steps. Like you may or may not see that at this point, but it's like they're all in. And that's even like if you've been through a separation with this person, or if it's somebody that, maybe had a false start with, they're feeling quite nostalgic about that previous connection with you. So maybe this doesn't usually come through for me with the Six of Cups, but I'm very specifically hearing that like they miss your laugh, they miss your inside jokes, they miss your voice, they miss the energy of the connection and like being together with you. Like there's a nostalgia for whatever connection you previously had. If you've had a conflict, then before the conflict, like whatever, or maybe, if you've been together for many years, maybe it's like going way back to sort of beginning energy of the connection. But in any event, it's motivating them to come in correct. And then the Moon in reverse. So the Moon is intuitive energies, and this is sort of like if the Moon upright is can refer to things being hidden or being in confusion, or like things coming up from the intuition and maybe just being kind of nebulous, like the Neptunian nebulous energies of like, these things are coming up, but I don't know what to make of them. For example, last night I dreamt that I was making out with Andrew McCarthy. He was a very young, buff Andrew McCarthy, more buff than the actual young Andrew McCarthy ever was. What does that mean? That we were in a bathroom. It was like kind of a sauna. It had like a little bit of a sauna, like it was meant to be a sauna, or it was just excessively warm and I made a joke about it being a sauna. Anyway, there was some discussion about the bathroom being like a sauna. And a friend, my best friend from high school, was like in one of the stalls having a pee. And Andrew McCarthy and I just decided to start making out. And it was like, I don't know, he was almost like too built. When like somebody has too many muscles and it's like you can't really, I don't know, I myself have trouble sort of, it's like they're like a sculpture. It's like you're making it with a sculpture rather than a human being. Anyway, what does that mean? No idea. So that's the kind of intuitive information that comes through from the moon. And watched the SAG-AFTRA Awards the other night, and he was in them. Anyway, okay, so the moon in reverse, back to your person, can refer to coming out of confusion. So it might be that they are having some clarity about, like, maybe they're just realizing, exactly what they have been missing. And with the sun as the bottom of the deck energies, the sun, of course, is the energy of just being lit up by your connection. This person is, like, I would say between this card, and this card, this person is in love. They're feeling it. They're feeling like maybe they might not be formulating it to themselves as being in love, but they are feeling just very, like when they think of you, they light up. They're just having so much, it's like that lighting up energy is on the bottom of the deck, which might suggest that that's what's coming through here. Like maybe that's what they're feeling some clarity about. And, and it's coming through for them as a desire to plan things out and do it in the right way. And so Pentacles is like the suit of commitment, like that is grounded energy. That is like the path to legacy is the Ten of Pentacles is within this suit, right? And so the king would be the one who's able to get there in the right way. Do you like my hand poetry? Sometimes when I can't express myself, it's good because I need to entertain you with my hands. I don't know what is going on with me today, but here we are. We're hand dancing now. And so they're very aware of they're not very aware. They might be becoming aware that they just kind of like, maybe when you walk into the room, they find themselves sort of showing off for you, and they're, suddenly they're just like a lot more animated. Like I am very animated in this reading right now, which, that's an energy I have within me, but it has not to date come out during a tarot reading. And it is definitely not what I was feeling before this reading. And probably the second I stop recording, I'll transition out of it. Although I welcome it. It's really, really lovely. These are the energies I like to be in myself. Anyway, maybe they just kind of like start talking too fast or too much. Maybe they get really excited. Maybe they are doing little things to sort of get your attention. Or maybe they're a mature human who has better ways of, sort of expressing, like verbalizing their feelings for you. But if you're in separation, they may not have the opportunity to do that. And so it looks as if there's some maybe reflection on the fact that you bring up these energies in them. And, and that's the bottom of the deck. So that's like what's animating, like that's what's in the background animating what their energy presently is. I'm just going to see if I've missed anything. Yeah, so they might be receiving psychic downloads. They might be sort of having the dreams and then making sense of the dreams. So getting that information from the subconscious and being able to sort of filter it through the lens of consciousness and clarity. So getting those intuitive hits and actually parsing them and understanding them. Or their emotions to date might have been repressed. Like this could be like very repressed emotions that are like animating them subconsciously, but that's coming through now. Like the Sun card is like bleeding out into, not bleeding out, is becoming like a potent force within the connection. And underneath we've got the Three of Wands, so that's cool. The Three of Wands is, like actually formulating a plan, taking steps, like you know where you want to go and you're actually taking steps to get there. So your person might be very much in this energy of wanting to come in correct. So yeah, so it looks really, really positive in terms of their energies. Let's, if their energies are so positive and you're having revelations, what's blocking? Let's see what's blocking the connection at this time. One recommended shuffling technique is to just shuffle the corners, and I've noticed that I almost am doing that naturally, like unintentionally with a stack because it's still so stiff. It's like, I was going to say something else, but it's like hand breaking. Yep. It's ovary breaking. Don't break my ovaries, mystical tarot. It's like specifically breaking like my thumb joints, like in here. You really are getting like all the hand dancing today. Is it amusing? Do I amuse you? Please let me know if I amuse you. I would so love to amuse you. Okay. Well, so the question was what's blocking the connection? And we've got King of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom of the deck, and then the Two of Wands. I'm going to just throw those back and reshuffle, but that's worth considering for a moment. So King of Pentacles in reverse would be sort of like, it could be like jealousy, control, desire to control the situation. It's funny how in reverse it looks like a totally different color, like it was getting a very different energy when it was upright. Maybe I was focusing more over here, and like in reverse is coming through much, much darker. So, and the Two of Wands would be a crossroads. So being at a crossroads in the connection, having, like path A or path B to choose, or a need for a change in direction. So it might be that someone in this connection has been kind of over controlling the situation, or has been feeling jealous, possessive, sort of disconnected from the grounded energies of the Suit of Pentacles. Manipulative, controlling, like if somebody's been doing any manipulation in the connection or trying to bring about a particular outcome by like forcing it, like that might be creating a block, and there's a need to shift direction. There's a need to do things differently. Let's throw that into the middle. It could also be a lack of material resources. So maybe there's a plan, but there isn't sufficient finances to carry out the plan. Or maybe there's just a concern for material outcomes generally. So maybe, if a person is struggling to make ends meet, it's very hard to be in romantic, sweep a lover off your feet energies. If you've got and either of you have other things going on in your life, that can for sure block. Okay, so what is blocking the connection at this time? The Star. What is blocking the connection at this time? Whoa. Okay, quite a few just came through. Bottom of the deck, we've got Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So interesting how some things are coming through and then coming out in reverse. Okay, we've got the Chariot, Queen of Swords in reverse, Four of Pentacles in reverse, the Moon again. I don't know if you can really see all these. And the Four of Cups in reverse. Okay, so the Star as a blockage could refer to lacking motivation, so not feeling kind of hopeless, so sort of being without the energies of the Star. So So it's possible that one or both of you is feeling like, again, I mean, that was coming through for your person a little bit, I think. So it's possible that there's just a feeling that like the situation is hopeless, that there's nothing that can be done, there's no action that can be taken. It may also be that what action to take is clear, like that I'm thinking back to the Ace of Swords and the Lightning Strike energies, but that there's sort of a feeling that it's not going to help if that action is taken. So there's like a lack of motivation, and that's really coming through very strongly actually with all of these cards. So the moon can be about irrational fears. Yeah, so because I'm very much about reclaiming the moon, and everything to do with the feminine tends to end up in this sort of shadowy, nebulous territory. And I think that has to do a lot with our society's fears of everything that is not controllable. Shall we put it that way? So, the subconscious, intuition, psychic knowledge, all of that resists control, and it interferes with control. So if somebody is trying to control a situation and someone else has this sort of knowledge from elsewhere that's coming through, that's very inconvenient for, the person who wants to maintain control in a situation. And there can be, and so that it can come through as like fears of, like, I also feel a need to reclaim the devil card because it comes out of pagan traditions that are all about goats. Did you all know the devil is a goat? And that goes back to Pan and like Bacchanalia and celebrating in this like ritualistic, hedonistic, just like being in the energies of celebration, life, fertility. All of that is what has become, filtered through Christianity, devil energies. And, similarly with the moon, this is like witchy energies, like it's, the high priestess is more the witchy energies. But anyway, in this case, I don't know why I'm rambling about this. What I was trying to say is that I'm not getting that call here. I don't think that there's any sense in which the feminine is blocking, although now I'm wanting to consider that, but that's not what I was getting. I was getting the sort of more traditional tarot sense that the moon is blocking in the sense of being about confusion, fears, irrational sort of, things that are coming up from the subconscious specifically to do with hope. So there's like a fear that maybe even having hope is misguided. So one or both of you might be feeling like, I hope that this works out. I hope that this action that I want to take will bear fruit, but I'm not, there's no way that it could actually work out. So that's coming through as a blockage. Reinforced over here. And so I wasn't intending these to be clarifiers. I just kind of laid them out that way, and which became interesting when we got over here, because I feel like these two cards are kind of standing independently. And then this bottom of the deck energy is reinforcing kind of all of it. So the Chariot as a blockage is coming through as like a need to control, conversely, a need to control a situation, what needs to be controlled. So the Four of Cups can be about sort of staying in your lane, wanting to stay in your comfort zone. That's upright. And so reversed, it's sort of suggesting, it's like there's a need to take control over one's own emotions of holding back, one's own hesitancy. So it's like either you or your person, within the connection, there's a need to work with the blocks. So, and it's specifically saying, it's really critically important that this be done in order for the connection to move forward. So, and with the reversal here, it suggests that if that is done, if there's a sort of a willingness to change, if there's an openness to new experiences, then that will help, specifically that will help overcome hesitations that have been blocking the connection and will help build a strong foundation. With the Queen of Swords as in reverse, there might be a sense in which there's coldness. If there's any coldness between the two of you, or sort of like detachment, a lack of emotionality, someone being too much in the rational mind and not in their feelings, that's blocking the connection. And it can also refer to if there's any, again, those manipulative energies are coming up. Despite this, like the Chariot's coming through here as a need to control, but what's needed to be controlled is one's own sort of irrational fears about the connection not working out. There's a need to control one's own desire to stay in the comfort zone and to come out of that comfort zone. And so what's needed is clear communication, is balancing emotional intelligence and logical reasoning, is, you know, definitely steering clear of any sort of criticism, manipulation, bitterness, sort of veering away from the bitterness and getting control of that as well, and bringing in that, you know, clear, compassionate communication in the connection. So the Four of Pentacles in reverse is very much reinforcing this message of like there's a need to transition away from staying in the comfort zone, and like similar to this energy. And so if there's been like, if you, for example, have been too much in those energies of being comfortable, being single, but you've got that little shoot that's growing up through the crack, you know, and you can sense it, you can feel that happening, then, you know, if you're staying too much in your lane, you're going to miss, you know, it's like you've got blinders on and you're not going to see that, you know, that little crack's coming up over here and you're blind to it. You're just going to keep going, you know, on your current path. And what's needed is that lightning bolt shift to the other path where you can see, you know, that shoot coming through, like being aware of what's actually occurring and not just sort of prioritizing like a logical, rational path forward, because, you know, that's, if you over control your life, your approach, you miss those lightning strikes of inspiration they come in from the side, you know. And if you've got your blinders on and you're going straight ahead, you can't, it's like they can't get in, they can't access you. So in order for a spirit to come through, you know, your intuition to come through and give you those messages, it's like you have to allow, you know, you have to take the blinders down so that you can see what's going on over there. And, you know, that might cause you to deviate from your path. Like you might be really scared of, you know, like, this is what I've set out for myself, this is where I'm going. And, you know, it might be so much more beautiful than anything you could have planned for yourself. It might be just, you know, exactly what is needed to like open you up and take you down a completely different path where you never could have imagined things would be that good. There's also an element with the Four of Pentacles in reverse that during that period of transition, there might be some impulsivity. So, you know, just again, that same call to balance the logical reasoning with the emotional impulses. And so, you know, if you're having those, like I was very amped up at the beginning of this reading and I've kind of settled out a little bit now. But if, you know, if you're in those energies of like strong impulsivity, if it's sort of like logical path versus, you know, pure impulse for you, then it's like there's a need to kind of harmonize those, you know, like take that negative mind, take that positive mind and run them through the neutral mind, to put it in Kundalini yoga philosophy language. You know, make sure that you're getting the input from both of those paths and filtering them both through and then deciding on, you know, what the best course of action is from a non-reactive place. So it's sort of like, you know, this is a reactive place insofar as you're like, you're scared of, you know, letting go of control. It's anxiety. And then there's, you know, maybe a bit of the impulsive, like, you know, like, let's go. And, you know, you want to slow that down in order to get the input from the other side as well, and just kind of figure out what that balance is, what the right balance is for you. And Eight of Pentacles in reverse as a blockage is, you know, it's again that sort of that hesitancy energy that was coming through earlier. It's like having like making half-hearted efforts, not being fully committed to the work. You know, sort of like, it's like, you know what needs to be done, but you're just like not feeling the motivation to actually do what needs to be done. And so it's again that waffling, that hesitancy, that like you or your person, either way, somebody in this connection really needs to get a handle on their own hesitancy so that they can allow those lightning strikes of inspiration to come through and like motivate them into action. Okay, well, let's look at highest possible outcome for the connection. So let's see, what's the highest possible outcome, assuming that both people do their work? So if both parties in the connection are earnestly going ahead with whatever is their own work in the connection to do, then what's the highest possible outcome for the connection, projecting forward from present factors? Highest possible outcome for the connection at this time if both people do their work. Of Swords. Could we get a motivator, a clarifier for the a motivator for the Seven of Swords? What can that sneaky snake do so that she can steal more eggs? That wasn't what I meant. Can we get a clarifier, please, for the Seven of Swords? She's so beautiful. She's made out of flowers. She's got a fancy little bonnet too. Seven of Pentacles. Very interesting 7 energy. Since we've been getting 3 or 4 cards all the way along, let's get one more, please, Spirit. One more clarifier for the 7 of Swords. For highest possible outcome. So 77 might be a significant number for you. You might want to look out for that number. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Ace of Wands in reverse. Y'all, it wouldn't be a salty tarot reading without some kind of tech issues. It's starting to feel like it's becoming like a well-rehearsed speech at this point. It's almost like Spirit's trying to make sure I know the cards. I noticed there was a glare in this one in the video, so I'm trying to move it out of the glariness in case you were not able to see it before. There it is. In full glory. She's quite beautiful. And so what I was trying to say, and then this is the bottom of the deck energies, which I'd moved on and I had to pull them back out. So might as well shake things up, create a flash of inspiration, that lightning impulse, do things differently, right? If it wasn't working the first time, do it differently. Okay, so on that note, so what I'm seeing overall is the rebuilding of trust. And I talked for, I don't know, another 10 minutes about rebuilding trust. So essentially take this message as it resonates for you. So this is a collective reading. There might be some things that resonate for you and some that don't. So I'm not sure if I said this. I just re-listened to that last video, but I'm not sure if I actually said. So basically the best possible construal of this energy is that you're both holding back in the connection. You're not being authentic with each other. And then at worst, it can run down to infidelity. So if you were in a committed relationship, that is something you would already know about. It might also be a reputation for infidelity or a reputation for not being faithful in relationships, reputation for being a player, which someone might be concerned to undo. So what I was saying is, and then this can be very much the energies of running hot and cold. So both of these have very similar feels to them as potential outcomes. And again, keep in mind that the outcome is always shifting in every moment. And so as a potential outcome, this was not looking so great to me, and that's why I got the clarifiers. But what I'm seeing overall is that these are being modified by the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles is very nourishing energies, and it's the energies of really taking it slow, and so of, building up trust. That's what I'm seeing overall. So it's not that this standing alone looks as if the outcome is, fairly not great. And if that's all it was, I would be telling you to walk away. But what I'm seeing instead is that there's, like, we've had all this stuff coming up in this reading. Maybe this is why I didn't say this before, so maybe that's why there's been a spirit reshuffle, so to speak. So there's been all this stuff in this reading about like fears, holding back, hesitation. And with this card, what's coming through really strongly is a fear of commitment, intimacy issues. This card can have all kinds of meanings, and that is the one that is sticking for me. I sort of ran through them actually in the last video, and as I was saying them, I was like, why am I running through all this when the meaning that's sticking out for me is commitment issues? Oh, it's almost making me cry. Oh my goodness. So that's coming through really strongly. Oh, I'm glad I'm re-recording now. Everything happens for a reason. If it's like bringing up emotion in me, then I trust that I'm on the right track. So yeah, so it may not be that there's actual, like there may have been some infidelity issues or third party energy, or even just somebody focusing more on their career. Like this can be about not adulting successfully. So maybe one or both of you has needed to focus on career, on finances at the expense of the connection. And, it's really hard to be open to a connection if you're in survival mode, right? And then again, this can be about just not being authentic, not bringing your authentic selves to a connection. And for a person to bring their authentic self to a connection, they have to trust. And building that trust takes time. And so these cards together are looking to me, especially with this bottom of the deck energy of, this message about fear of commitment and or some kind of issues with building intimacy. It looks like this very kind of fragile building of trust. And, it may be somebody in the connection has a reputation for, kind of skimming the surface. And maybe that's maybe that's the comfortable place that, that reverse 4 of Cups earlier. Maybe that's the comfort zone that you or your person are being nudged away from. Maybe there's a call to go more deeply with this connection. And so the 7 of Pentacles can be about establishing trust, making sure that a person is trustworthy before making a commitment. And so just kind of reflecting back to that King of Pentacles earlier, it's like coming in right. Like these cards plus this card, it's like coming in right. And especially if there are any issues with like past issues or present, fears of commitment, fears of trusting somebody else. I mean, like, you trust this woman and she makes off with your eggs, right? So you got to make sure that there's like, maybe there's more to the story. Like she's so beautiful. There must be more to the story. And snakes are often maligned. That's another thing, another feminine icon I like to reclaim. So like, why is she stealing the eggs? Like maybe she has some intuitive foreknowledge that this tree is going to burn down in a day and she's taking the eggs to safety. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's actually another side to the story or another reason why, people act in the ways that they do for all kinds of reasons that are not necessarily obvious on the surface or without deeper communication. And so I think deeper communication, authentic relating, these are all very much being called for here. And it just like, every time I look at this card, every time I think of this card, looking at this card, reflecting on this a little bit, it's like, I feel this intense emotionality. Like I feel almost like the bottom dropping out from under me. So there might be someone in this connection. And if that's you, it's like baby steps, like one step at a time, like you got to build up your trust in yourself and then your trust in another person. And there's strong nourishment, I would say, coming through from spirit for this process. I was saying the number is 77 might be significant, or 277. And then I said 2771. And at this point, it's 2717. So any of those numbers, you might want to look up the significance of them. But 77 in particular, I feel like Spirit may speak to you through that number as confirmation. This is also Taurus energies, and I would be speaking out of turn if I tried to do the signs for the other ones. So yes. So that's, building trust and just kind of taking it moment by moment, day by day, and just getting down to what's authentic. And that can be scary as hell if you haven't done it before, or if you haven't done it in a while, or if you were burned the last time you did it. You know, like there's really a need to nurture that, like over here, nurturing that harvest and ensuring that it can come to fruition, and doing that really patiently and gently and compassionately. Okay, so I shuffled out some more cards asking for any last messages from the tarot before we get some channeled messages. And I have 2 new channeled message decks, which were a big part of the motivation for doing this reading, which was meant to be a very quick reading, but I guess I'm more verbose than I realize. I'm quite shy in person, and it's definitely taking me a bit to get my sea legs in this tarot venture. Just noticing how beautiful these cards are on the back. They look so plain from down below, but I hope you can see that. Tilting so at least some of that can come through. Just noticing the honeycomb in the center there. So pretty. I love this deck. Anyway, so I shuffled out some cards on camera, not that you can tell, since that part of the reading did not record, which is my current karma. I need to get some footage off the computer onto external drives. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so let's turn these cards over. So what came through was, that was upright, and that was upside down. So that came through first, and then this. So the Fool in reverse and the 10 of Cups. So the Fool in reverse can be that energy of rushing. Just checking if the cards are straightish. The Fool in reverse can be, sort of all the impulsivity, recklessness, rushing in too fast kind of energies that we were talking about in the beginning of the reading. And there's really been a call through this whole reading to sort of temper those energies and slow down, use logic, make sure that if you're going more deeply into this connection, that you're doing it not impulsively, but, sort of taking time, building up the trust, doing it the right way. And so as I recall in the beginning, your energies were, sort of maybe like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not sure that you wanted to go all in. But the 10 of Cups came out right after the Fool. I asked for one more card, and the 10 of Cups came out. And that's, as beautiful as it gets for connections. And I remarked on this in one of my other recent readings, but there's a rainbow here. I'll just hold this up so in case there's any glare. It's just such a beautiful card. Like we've got the rainbow, we've got this couple sort of arm in arm and holding hands in a complicated way that maybe that's how you have to hold hands when you're floating in water. I'm just noticing that there's some designy details in the background here. Looks like maybe some seagrasses. I was saying that her, skirts here kind of look like seagrasses, her mer person side. And whereas there's like some detailing on the whale of the other party, whose gender I read as quite ambiguous, that almost looks like kind of a cyber effect. And so my comment, I feel like I'm just repeating myself from a previous reading, but basically it's almost like there's like a depth to the connection that is unseen from the surface. And so on the surface, there's like, this happy coupleness, power couple energies. That was coming out earlier in the reading as well, by the way. And like underneath, there's, this even deeper compatibility that is maybe only apparent it might be apparent to everybody else who's, running in those depths. But as far as the surface is concerned, it's apparent to these two people. And, they're like compatible under the surface, and they've got the sort of family of fish wending their way through her tails there. And so if this is the outcome that you desire, I'd say that is a potential that's available in the connection. And, the key might be to take it slow and build it up with tempering, like allowing through the the emotional authenticity and communicating about that with each other and just rebuilding trust. It takes time. So we're going to leave it there as far as the tarot goes, but we are going to get a few channeled messages. I might just leave these, where should we put them? One on each side, perhaps. Leave those out as sort of informing. And I'll do this in, actually I'll do it in, I just got these 2 decks that I've been wanting forever, and one of them was not available until now. And the other one I don't know, I couldn't figure out what it was called. But here it is in all its glory. It is the Hermit Tarot. So it's got some numbers, and we're just going to get a few channeled messages that now I almost wish I'd gotten earlier, because I'm definitely developing a bit of an angular shuffle. Okay, Spirit, please tune me into the person of the collective in this reading. So your person, what are some messages from your person to come through the Hermit Tarot? The inaugural reading with the Hermit Tarot. Channeled messages from your person. I just want you all the time, and you matter. A couple more, Spirit, please. I think this is meant to be no, but it came out as on. I'm going to leave it as on. Any other messages? You can take whichever of those resonates for you. Do you think about me too? So your person might be wondering, and maybe specifically they're wondering if you're feeling the passion the same way they are. Any other channeled messages from your person? Something flipped out and went back in again. I used to wonder how that was possible, but it definitely happens a fair bit. Any other channeled messages from this deck? Oops. Got 1 pentacle, so that's the Ace of Pentacles. Managed to flip everything around here. The Ace of Pentacles, that was that seed energy at the beginning of the reading. It can also refer to a gift or an opportunity. So, maybe this you matter is a gift, is an opportunity. Maybe there's something in your person's feelings for you that is a gift. I never imagined so much perfection. So I'll leave those there. You can screen capture them if you like. And we're going to switch over to the Hidden Truth Oracle that I'm so excited to have. Are we recording? We are. Now I'm ultra paranoid about it. These cards are so stiff, I can't shuffle them on top of that other deck, or they will create a mess. Okay, Spirit, please tune me into the collective's person. Please bring through any messages, any more channeled messages from your person. Okay, what are the messages from your person through the Hidden Truth Oracle? I couldn't let you get close to me. Any other messages from your person? Channeled messages from your person. What are the messages from your person? These cards are littler than I'm used to shuffling now. I already managed to bend them a bit. Channeled messages from your person. What are the messages? We have I love you. I wish I could take my words. I wish I could take back my words. That's funny because I did see, I think, I'm not sure if it actually flipped out, but I thought I meant what I said when I was going through this deck earlier. Any other channeled messages before we leave the reading? Last couple channeled messages. We have, I bury myself in work to forget you. So yeah, that's, that was that energy with the seven of swords earlier. I am grateful for the spiritual lesson. And one last message. Oh, I know that I crossed the line with you. Yeah, so if your person has acted with impropriety in this connection, and there's still, a hole there, this is almost coming through like it's your person with the intimacy issues. So maybe there's something to that. Oh, I almost shuffled, but I was going to check. Bottom of the deck, you were the best thing in my life. Okay, well, we're going to leave it there, my friends. So thank you for being here. And yeah, so take it slow. Be guided by your emotions. Use your rationality. And work on rebuilding trust if that's what you feel called to do. Okay, so we'll leave it there. Thanks for being here. Please do like, subscribe, and put a heart in the comments if this resonated with you or anything else. Okay, thank you. Bye.